What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua, as of a day and a half ago, was posting some new training methods for the Andy Ruiz rematch. I'm going to put the link below, let you guys take a look at it now. This is from FightHype.com. Shouts out to those guys. But mind you, these are two different segments. They put little pieces in there when AJ was doing some pad work with Rob McCracken. Okay, that wasn't current. The current, the first part of the video, the little segments at the beginning, that's the actual new content. Okay, the one when he was in there with McCracken, if you notice, that was when he was in New York before the Ruiz fight. Then if you can tell, he looks a lot bulkier. He looks a lot thicker and fuller, like a bodybuilder like type in those segments, okay, when he was doing the pad work. But remember, that wasn't current. That was over a month ago, all right? So the first beginning when he's on the treadmill, he's working movement, keeping distance. That's all that means, keeping distance so he can maintain the distance and establish the jab at a certain distance, because that's what he's going to need. If you notice, he's throwing many jabs, snapping the jab out there, bringing it right back so he wouldn't get countered. And I noticed that they were doing that. He was hitting the body bag with the tile, meaning as a timer for him to jab and not allow his fist to hit that towel, because as soon as he throws that jab, he throws the towel down to see how fast he can get that jab back in position so he can protect himself. That's if Andy Ruiz, doesn't try to do a certain counter, okay? I think that Anthony Joshua, he's just showing us a little bit of what he's doing. It could mean a lot of things. You may look at it like, okay, he's driven, he's focused. He wants to show people that, hey, I'm working. I'm determined, and I'm going to bring those belts back to where they belong. Like he says, 2-time world champion, that's what he wants now. That's his main focus, and he's showing a little bit of what he can do. Now, me counterpunching that, I would stay off social media at all. I would be as quiet as Anthony Joshua normally was, especially when Wilder and Fury was making their fight happen last year, and we hardly heard a peep out of Anthony Joshua. That's how I think he should be. I think he should go underground. I think he should actually not post anything on social media. You know what I mean? Sure, to show people you're working. Show people something general. Like road work, jogging, getting that weight down, getting that muscle mass off. That's taking too much oxygen. That oxygen flowing through his body is taking too much energy to move around like that, okay, for 3 rounds per round. And then, of course, when he got in trouble, he looked gassed, because he was gassed. He was gassed. So he could show us something like that. Don't show us techniques. That's something that you want to keep to yourself. You know what I mean? And who's to say? Maybe he's just showing people what he wants them to know or to see. That could be the case. But I would never do that. I would never show people certain things, what I'm doing, especially techniques. New training methods are new training methods, but I think things should be kept at an indiscretion, right? He should be very discreet about what he shows social media. I think that's a no-go. I wouldn't do that. And if Rob, see here, it goes back to this, guys. Rob McCracken got him only so far, can get him only so far. And things like that, if I'm Rob McCracken, if I'm his head trainer, I'm like, Anthony, take those fucking things down. Don't bring that. Don't post that. Don't show people what we're working on. That's nobody's business. You got holes and moles everywhere. So why are you posting this shit on Instagram, on Twitter? letting it go on fightheight.com. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what you should be showing. Now, if he was clever, if he wanted somebody to see something, he would show some old shit, like in segments of this Fight Hype, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Show some shit where he's ducking, he's crouching to throw a hook instead of just throwing it at his height. Okay? You know, I think that, yeah, he looks good. He's throwing more punches. You know, that, you know, Andy, he should remember to keep Andy at a certain distance. And when Andy tries to come in and implement an attack, make him pay for coming in. Make him pay for stepping over the perimeter of your space. That's what Anthony Joshua should do. But what he's doing now, sure, you can look at it. Sure, he shows that he's focused, he's hungry. All right, we already know that. We get that. We know that this man wants his fucking belts back. We know that without a shadow of a doubt. But you don't have to show us that in the sense of giving away your secrets. Okay? You're showing us things at an expense of giving away what you're working on. We don't want to see that. I wouldn't want to see that. And again, if Rob McCracken, I don't know if how close he is to Anthony Joshua as far as the everyday things that he does. Because, you know, Anthony Joshua does a lot of things outside of boxing. And I think that's one of the problems. One of the major problems why he lost. Right there. All the other shit he done and outside the ring that gets in the way of what he does in the ring. You know, that's my opinion about that. So I don't know if Rob McCracken even seen this, but if I'm Rob McCracken, I'm like, okay, take that down, Joshua. We can't have people seeing what we're doing, what we're working on. You know what I mean? Like, sure, the YouTube thing, the like behind the scenes stuff, it's cool. You know, it's a good way to show what a person does for every day. That's why Showtime, HBO 24/7 was so popular. You know what I mean? And people liked it because it showed the lives of a boxer outside the ring as well as the stuff they did inside the ring. But certain things inside the ring, what you're training for before a fight, should be secret. Bottom line. But again, it does what I do take from this. Now that we've seen it, I take that he looks definitely smaller. He looks like he's trimming down that weight. He's going to need to, because he needs to be able to move. Now, you hear a lot of criticism if you look at the comments. The comments are basically a lot of people criticizing him. You know, he still looks like a robot or robotic or stiff. You know what I mean? Or he looks like a robot now. He's a bouncing robot. Things like that. These are the things you hear. Okay. But if you really look at it, he's going to look that way simply because of if you're used to muscle memory. Okay. That's why his movements are, you know, because anybody that lifts weights, muscle memory is a motherfucker. You know, muscle memory is the way you format your formation of your muscles and the way you do things. Like the way you walk is kind of hard to say, hey, walk a different way. You know what I'm saying? If you've been walking this way all your life, because the muscle memory of what you're accustomed to moving, that's very difficult to change, especially in 6 months. You know, I would bring someone else to make it more loose, but then, you know, just like Gennady Golovkin, he looked good in training, but when he got in there with Steve Rolls, he still got hit. His head movement, you know, he still showed he needs work. So with Joshua, of course he needs upper body movement. He needs head. He definitely needs head movement, you know, and he needs stamina. He needs all that weight off him. We know these things. But I think the robotic part is going to be something that he's just accustomed to just by having muscle memory of doing that time and time again. You know what I mean? Just real textbook stuff. You know, he's not going to be like Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? He you know, I see certain times he tries to emulate Tyson or Canelo. You know what I mean? And those guys are shorter guys. They can get away with the things that they do because they know they're already at a certain height. They know that's not their advantage. So he has to know what it's like to be a tall man. That's what that's why I would recommend someone that's like Lennox Lewis, because Lennox Lewis knows how to fight tall because he's a tall man also. And he knows and he's experienced with fighting shorter guys. That's the whole point about it. It's what he's experienced of knowing and what he knows how to do in those type of situations, which I think Rob McCracken failed him. And if Rob McCracken's okay with giving out information and letting Anthony Joshua expose this information to the public and the social media, he's already failed once again. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Anthony Joshua's new training methods. Again, I will have the link below in the description. You tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.